I got a fever. And the only cure is more spring and more sunshine. Oh, that's Brecht. Oh, isn't it so nice though? This is my first spring in Sweden. Now I realize this may be a false spring type situation, but man, the snow is really almost gone. It's starting to be warmer. I'm not needing quite as many layers outside when I take Rollo for a walk. Sorry if you hear him slurping in the background. But yeah, spring is coming. You can hear the birds in the background. They know it too. So I'm just starting to feel like a little bit lifted in my spirits, which is good because Christopher is sick right now and I am trying to get it. But y'all, I do this every time I get sick. I'm trying to mind over matter it right now. I feel it in my throat and I'm just trying to get stuff done anyway, because even though I feel like I'm trying to fight something off here, I have some energy with this change in the weather, and so I've been doing things. So, topic of this video is the February budget review. Sorry it has been late, but lately I have been focusing on my Swedish lessons, my SFE, and that has taken a whole lot of mental capacity for me to do, so I just haven't had the energy for YouTube necessarily. So, we're going to talk about the budget review for February, and I'll show you what I've been up to since my last video update that I made, because I have been doing a few projects here around the house. And yeah, we'll do all that first, and then we'll get into the budget review. I'll put a timestamp here if you're just interested in the numbers that you can jump to. But otherwise, let me take this dog on a walk, and when we get back, I will show you what I've been up to. All right, we'll do a little bit of walk and talk update as to what I've been up to since my last video, and I'll just throw in some B-roll of the stuff that I'm talking about. So, plant update with my seedlings. I finally have a pepper sprout. That's good. Still no muscadine seeds have germinated, which makes me sad. Also making me sad is that all of the other seedlings that I have put into larger pots from the germinating seed tray, I would say about half of them are dying. And I don't know why, because the things that I have sprouted, some of the seeds are like red, yellow, green onions, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, leeks. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things. Oh, tomatoes. I have 2 different varieties of tomatoes. And in all cases, except for the cauliflower, all of my cauliflower is like dying and I don't know why. But all of the rest of those things, it's like 50% of them look great in their bigger pots. And then the other 50% are sad. And I don't know why. If you're a gardener, if you start seeds, this is the first time I've ever tried to have a garden that I have started from seed. So if you're one of those people that have experience, maybe you could offer me some insight as to why my seedlings are dying. When I put them in a larger, pardon the out of breathness too, I think that's part of this me trying to not get sick thing. But anyway, so I started my seeds in their little seed tray inside of a little cardboard egg carton cell. So the little paper egg cartons. And that seemed to have worked well, and it made it very easy for me to put them into larger pots when they got too big for the seed tray. That has been the technique that I have been using. I don't know if, I mean, honestly, I really have no idea why half of them are doing well in their bigger pots and half of them are not. I've been watering everybody the same, and they're now sitting like next to a windowsill, and I thought, okay, maybe the ones closer to the windowsill are getting too much light and they're burning during the day. But I was taking a closer look yesterday when I was watering everybody, and I have like one broccoli that is next to another broccoli, and they're both the closest position to the window, and one of them looks great and one of them is dying. So again, I really don't know why I'm having challenges now that I have planted some of my seedlings into larger pots. But in a way, it is a good thing, because I knew, like, if every single one of my seedlings survived, I did not have the garden space for them in those planter boxes that I bought. So, you know, since this is my first attempt, it's honestly like, it's going to be a case of the strong survive with me, because I really don't know what I'm doing, and we're just going to see what works and what doesn't this year. So, you know, it's all a learning process. And that's the main update with the plant situation. So the flower boxes are still, you know, assembled and ready to be put into place. I did actually attempt the other day when I was feeling pretty good and the weather was halfway decent like today. I started to try to dig the old flower boxes to get the dirt out of them so that I could move my new planter boxes in place. And while the weather is nice and it has been above freezing here, it's hasn't been above freezing for long enough for me to really dig. So I got just through the top layer, and then I hit this, you know, hard layer, and I was like, did they put stones in the bottom of this planter box? And then I realized, no, the ground is just still frozen. So the dirt at the bottom of the flower boxes was still frozen solid. So I can't dig those out completely yet until we get a few more nice days in a row. And since I can't do the digging, what I'm gonna do to plan for the new planter boxes that I have, because they are so huge, they're so much bigger than the ones that are here, I know that I'm gonna fill the bottom of those planter boxes with, like, basically a bunch of branches of various sizes. And then the next layer on top of that will be just, you know, grass clippings, dead leaves, basically just anything to fill in the middle space of these planter boxes. And the top layer in the planter boxes will be, you know, the good gardening soil and whatever compost I'm able to make from my compost tumbler that I have. So since I can't dig the old flower boxes, the dirt, yet, I have started gathering the small sticks and branches for the bottom of the new planter boxes. And we have a bunch of piles of those in various places around the property, but since there were other small trees and things that we wanted to take down, there's an endless supply here, y'all. Endless. I figured I might as well start working on taking down some of the smaller trees that need to come down anyway, and I can just stack those up next to my flower boxes and get those ready to go in. So I'm kind of getting two birds with one stone. Instead of just going around and picking up the old trees that we cut down last year, little tiny saplings and stuff, I might as well just start working on the saplings that you know, we didn't get to last year, take down the ones that I can, and start piling those up. And I have begun that. I'll show you the pile that I have currently. And my project for today, when we get back from this walk, is to start another section of those small little sapling trees. I need to get those down. There's a group of them in front of our woodshed that we've just been meaning to take down for a while. We just hadn't got to it yet. So that's going to be my project for today, is to focus on those saplings. And then I'll stack those up and continue adding to my little wood pile. So, you know, I'm getting as ready as I can to get those new planter boxes in. I knew last fall I really should have made myself dig out those flower boxes that are there right now, but I didn't. And then, you know, winter got here and it was freezing, and I knew it would have to wait until spring, which really, it's okay. I mean, the seedlings that I have are nowhere near ready to go in the ground yet. So I'll have time It's just that I don't want to dig. Nobody likes digging. I mean, that's arduous labor there. Anyhow, but we've reached the point where it has to be done now if I'm going to get these flower boxes in. But once they are in, that's going to be one big project around the house that is done. And it'll be like permanently done. You know, this is not going to be an ongoing project like taking care of saplings that regrow every year. This will just be one big item off of the checklist. So I need to quit procrastinating about the digging. And as soon as it's thaw enough for me to dig out the flower boxes, that needs to be my next project that I'm working on. But until then, I'm going to keep gathering saplings. Boy, y'all can tell the around our house, most of the land is owned by a logging company. And I mean, it just is what it is. Some of these fields, while it's kind of nice because it provides you a longer line of sight, at the same time, you know, I mean, they just leave a bunch of short tree trunks and things, a lot of down trees that they end up not stacking in these big piles. The big piles of wood are not necessarily super nice to look at. Sorry, I've got Rollo on a very long leash because there's like nobody out here basically but me. So I have to spin around a lot because he wants to like go back and forth and he gets tangled around me basically. But he gets to have a little bit more freedom if I use the long leash, so he's happy. Next update as far as what I've been doing since the last time we talked. I do have fish in my fish tank now. So y'all, I'm really happy with the fish tank. I thought that it was going to be a longer time before I was able to put fish in it if the tank needed to completely recycle itself. But I had some filter media from the used tank that we got off of Facebook Marketplace. I just wasn't sure if it was going to be good still or not, or if all of the good bacteria and stuff in that filter media had died while I was dry starting my new tank. Anyway, I kept checking the parameters on my tank and it seemed fine for me to add fish in. And so we did. We added a few in, checked the parameters over the next few days, stayed stable. So we added in some more fish. And for now, I'm happy with the way the tank is. We've got a bunch of different kinds of fish in there. We have 5 angelfish. We have 4 crabensis, which are very pretty. They are so pretty to look at, y'all. And we have 2 pairs, a male and a female. I've got a couple of small apistogramma and 10 phantom tetras, and then 10 other orange colored tetras. I can't remember what they're called now. And we have a cleanup crew too, of course. I have some Odosynclus in there and some Amano shrimp in there as my cleanup crew, and so far that seems to be going okay. The only bad thing about the tank is these crabensis, I didn't realize. Well, I kind of knew that they had the reputation. Cichlids do have a reputation for being hard on aquarium plants, but the crabensis are really trying to uproot stuff and they're succeeding. They're not messing with all of my plants in the tank, thankfully. So as far as how the aquascape is going, I'm just going to have to figure out what kind of plants they like and not plant those in the tank. If you're also an aquarium hobbyist, if you have any dwarf cichlids, your German rams, your crabensis, let me know what plants they tend to avoid. That way I can get those plants for the tank and they won't uproot them. But the tank is going really well. I'm really happy with the way that it looks despite some of the plants being uprooted. And I'm happy that I found a type of plant that I forget what it's called now, y'all. But it's got big broad leaves, and the underside of the leaves are kind of a reddish purpley color. They're so pretty. And thankfully, that plant is one that the Cribensis seem to not like as much. They have left it alone. So yeah, my tank is pretty much set right now. It's just going to be a matter of figuring out what plants I can have in there with the fish that I chose. And Rollo got his leash stuck on a tree. But yeah, it's just going to be a matter of working with the fish that I chose and choosing the appropriate plants to have a nicely planted tank. So far, even after adding in all the fish that I have, the parameters are stable in the water. I have not had to even do a water change yet. So that's all good signs there. And I'm gonna see how the tank continues to hold out for a few months with the fish that I have. Because, for example, like the angelfish that I bought, they're a decent size, but they're gonna get probably double the size that they are right now. So, you know, as the fish that are in there grow and get bigger, it will put a little bit more pressure on the good bacteria, the whole ecosystem of the tank. You know, it's going to be a larger bio load of waste and things as the fish get bigger. So I want to make sure that things stay stable before I go adding anything else. Honestly, I feel like the tank is probably pretty full as is. And I don't think I'll add much else to it unless I happen to need some more like cleanup crew or something later down the road. The only thing I might try to add to the tank is more plants. So I'm gonna have to figure out what plants I can add that the Cribensis will leave alone. My cryptocoryne that I planted, I had a couple different varieties. They have all melted. I don't know if they're gonna come back. I hope they will. Crypts are known to melt. My Anubias that Cribensis are supposedly supposed to leave alone, they destroyed. So, I mean, all of my Anubias have been picked off by those Cribensis, and that surprised me. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out what they will leave alone. So the plants in my tank are a little bit of a question mark, but you know, I will get it back to being heavily planted at some point. Otherwise, I am really happy with the way the tank has turned out thus far. Y'all, look at all this heather over here. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see all this heather in bloom on the side of the road. The heather and, oops, sorry, Rollo's jerking me. The heather and these berries. I'm pretty sure from me and Christopher walking this road last year that all of these are lingonberry. We would love to find a nice big blueberry patch. So in Sweden, berries are all over the woods like that. It's very common. And most of them, as it turns out, are blueberries. But all of the berries around here where we live are lingon. We have not been able to find a nice big blueberry patch anywhere, so we're definitely going to keep a lookout for that this year. Anyway, evidence from hunters that come out here and hunt the land. We definitely have, we have seen tracks for fox, deer, of course, and wolf too. And the only reason I know they're wolf tracks is because they are tracks just as big as Rollo's, but they go off into the woods. And I mean, with this leash, we don't ever like walk around in the woods in the snow with Rollo. So we do have wolves out here somewhere. I've never seen one. I'm sure there's moose out here too. Again, I've never seen one. I haven't even seen tracks from a moose, but we do have hunters that come out often. Whoops, Rollo taking a pee. And I don't know what they're hunting in the wintertime, but we also have lynx out here too, because I have seen tracks for them. And I know it's lynx because they're nice, big, round footprints that are bigger than a fox, not as big as a wolf, and they just look cat-like, not like a dog print. Rollo's got these nice big paw prints that are nearly as big as my hand. Okay, he wants to go. And the cat tracks we've seen are like that, but more round and a little bit smaller than his. So yeah, we've got lynx around here too, but I've never seen a lynx, I've never seen a wolf, I've never seen a moose. But I'm sure if I live here long enough, eventually, maybe I'll be able to spot all three. So we've covered my plants and the fish tank, and I brought up SFE, the Swedish language learning here. The classes I've been taking are going well. Now, I will say though, with Christopher being sick this week, I did not go except for Monday. So it's basically been like one full week and a extra few days of me taking SFE. And Anders, the teacher in the class, and Maria, we have two. I mean, they both say, y'all, that I'm advanced. I do not feel advanced. But I guess if you compare what I have been able to do before I moved to Sweden, like, you know, I do the things one does when you try to learn a new language. I downloaded Duolingo. Oh, I just saw a pheasant run off in the distance. I wish I could have got that for you guys. It's gone now, though. Thankfully, Rollo didn't pull me. Anyway, you know, I made my way completely through the Duolingo Swedish. I've been trying to just do flashcards here and there. I've been studying on my own, basically, some. So, and the fact that for a native English speaker, Swedish is supposed to be one of the easier languages for us to learn because it's very similar in many ways, even though there's also a lot of differences. So when it comes to the class, you know, this is a class for immigrants to Sweden, and Anders says that I'm advanced and that I'm not going to be needing SFI for very long. Also, an advantage I have is that I have Christopher at home and we can speak Swedish with each other as I become more advanced and my vocabulary builds. So in that respect, I can see what Anders, you know, means by me being advanced. I feel like I have all the pieces of the language. Anders helped a lot with filling in the gaps because while Christopher obviously can speak Swedish fluently, he's a born and raised Swede, he doesn't necessarily know the whys behind all of the grammar rules and things. So Anders has really helped me with that. But even when you learn the grammar rules, much like in English, there are many exceptions. And somebody with my personality, I like to know the why behind the way things are the way they are, and sometimes your answer for that is that's just how it is. And I have found that seems to be a lot of the reason for why some Swedish words are the way that they are. If you're one of the Swedes that watches my channel, maybe you'll understand about the starka verbs, the so-called strong verbs in group 4 that end with IT. For the past perfect, the have had, like har blivit, those type of words. Spruket, blivit. There's a lot of strong verbs like that, and they don't follow normal verb conjugation rules in Sweden. And so the issue is that when you have that type of situation, you pretty much just have to memorize. So that's why I've been doing flashcards and trying to memorize those verbs. Most verbs follow a more simple rule, but the problem is a lot of the most commonly used verbs in Sweden have exceptions when it comes to their conjugation. So you just have to memorize. And that's what I mean by I feel like I have all the pieces of the puzzle, but at this point, I just need to put them together. SFI really helped me as far as understanding basic grammar rules and things, things that Christopher really couldn't explain to me because he doesn't even know what the English equivalent are to these rules. And now that the grammar pieces have been mostly put together and I'm learning like the verb conjugations and things, it's basically just a matter of me starting to use the Swedish and trying to get my brain to flip over to using Swedish, to thinking in Swedish. And I know you can't force that, like it will happen at some point. But I think the biggest help for me now is going to be just trying to use Swedish more at home. Now, I am still planning on going to SFI every day that I can when I'm not feeling sick. So I will go Monday through Friday because it is also helpful for me to be around other Swedish learners and, you know, just have that immersion, especially with other people trying to learn the language is helpful. And then if questions do come up, I've got, you know, my teachers right there who can answer questions for me. So I will continue to go to SFI classes, I think, until spring really gets going in full swing here, which clearly you can see the difference of how it looks in a shady area versus an area that actually gets some sun. There is still quite a lot of snow out here, but at our house where we have all the fields cleared, it's almost gone. So, but as far as SFI goes, I'll keep going to those classes until spring really gets going in full swing, because honestly, we just have way too much to do here at the house, and summers are short in Sweden. So when summer is here and I'm able to work outside every day, I need to be doing that. There's a lot of projects that we wanted to do at the house that we just didn't have time to get to last year because I got here so late in the summer. If you're new to the channel, I immigrated here August 16th of 2025. So this is going to be like my first full spring and summer in Sweden. And I can't wait, y'all. I can't wait. That's why I released my short recently showing my first cup of coffee outside in spring here in Sweden. And yes, I was still bundled up. I still had a coat on and everything, but it was just so nice to sit outside and have that cup of coffee. And when it comes to early retirement and just, icy here, sorry for all the crunching. When it comes to early retirement and feeling decompressed, I have noticed, now maybe this is just some of the spring fever and some of the energy coming back because it is spring, and that just happens every year. But I noticed the other day when I was sitting out having that cup of coffee that I had the thought to myself, oh, what do I get to do today because the weather's nice? And it hit me that when I got here last year in the middle of August when I immigrated over, it was still very much summer and nice outside, so I would have my coffee outside in the mornings. And when I had my coffee, I would ask myself, what should I do today? Because the weather's nice, I'm here now, what should I work on today? But I'm tired. So maybe it's just the fact that I've had enough time to decompress over the winter. I'm just feeling a lot better health-wise overall than I was when I first got here. I really feel like the decompression has helped a lot with that. And I have lost some weight since I've been here, guys. I am comfortably, consistently about 10 pounds down from when I first moved over here. Anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds. Honestly, the weight fluctuates. And truth be told, I haven't been focusing on that, like diet and stuff, a whole lot lately since the SFI classes started. That has been my main focus, and I have sort of set my strict low carb, logging everything I eat, all of that, watching my macros, all of that has been pushed to the back burner just because I've really been focusing on Swedish lately, and that has taken all of my mental energy. Nonetheless, when I was focusing pretty intently on the diet and exercise piece over the winter, I mean, 10 pounds just flew off of me, you guys, and I'm really glad for that. I hope that I can at least maintain that loss over the summer. I feel like I should be able to, because I'm going to be outside a lot more than I was during the winter. And then combine that with just all these projects that I want to work on around the house. Even if my diet isn't perfect, I feel like I should be able to at least maintain the loss that I have. Ooh, more ice. Yeah, there is something healing about being here, y'all. You cannot, I really can't put it into words. I mean, this is why I'm doing the walk and talk, so that you guys can sort of experience just what I see on a daily basis. When it's nice enough to be outside and I take Rollo for a walk, being in the sun for a former third shift worker, this has helped so much. My vitamin D was not low, y'all. Y'all know that I keep close track of my vitamin levels and everything. My vitamin D has been fine, but there is something different about being outside, fresh air, peace and quiet, just being in nature. I still can't believe I'm here. Every day I'm just like, this is my life now. It's insane. And now every day, this is my life now. It's insane. I live here. I have to learn the language. So that's why it's my new focus. Like, I'm going to live here the rest of my life if all goes according to plan. Sweden is my home. So I really do want to focus on the language learning. And before summertime gets going in full swing and we're working outside a lot and trying to just enjoy summer, now's the time to really study the Swedish. So that's what I'm doing. All right, I think that's enough walkie-talkie for the walk with Rollo. I'll get him back to the house and then I'll show you guys the project that I want to get done today outside. Is it because I want to work on a project outside? No, not necessarily. I just want to be outside when it's nice. I need the saplings and the sticks for my planter boxes anyway. So when we get back to the house, I'm gonna get some shit done. Oh, hang on, dog. Here, y'all. I don't know if y'all can tell the difference between these tracks and Rollo tracks that I was showing you earlier. But these are pretty big. But they're much more round. And they're definitely not Rollo's paw prints. And now they're bigger than a fox for sure. So I think these are lynx tracks. And as a comparison, here's some of Rollo's tracks, fresh. You see how they're more elongated and they're bigger versus those. A little bit smaller and more round. Pretty sure. I mean, I'm no professional, but I think those are lynx tracks, not Rollo's big old paw prints. Okay, continuing on to the house. Just a funny side commentary about talking about the hunters that we know come out here to hunt in these woods. Christopher and I were walking Rollo pretty recently, and we came this direction and we actually met two cars leaving from the woods here. Now out this road that I just came from, it's a dead end. There's some summer houses down there, you know, so people don't live there full time year round. And we met a couple cars that were coming out and we passed one of those campfires that they had lit that day. I mean, it was still burning when we walked by it. So we knew that those were hunters out there hunting. And Christopher and I thought, I mean, I have no idea what's in season right now in Sweden. I don't know if you're allowed to hunt wolves in the area that I'm in, but if there is a wolf season and you're allowed to get a few, one, two, I have no idea again. But I do find it kind of funny to think that these hunters came out here and possibly saw Rollo's tracks and thought that they were tracking a big wolf, when really they're just tracking my dog. That would be so funny to me. And I know those hunters probably like realize there are human footprints next to these very large, possibly wolf footprints. But still, I wonder if they had that thought when those two cars drove by us and saw Rollo, my giant dog. I wonder if they were like, oh shit, I think we've just been tracking this dog around here and there's no wolf. I hope they think that, in all honesty. I know for a fact that I have seen some most likely wolf tracks around here that do not belong to Rollo, but I would think unless you were a very experienced hunter, you really probably couldn't tell the difference between a huge dog like Rollo and a wolf. Speaking of my huge dog, y'all, I mean, look at all this slack we got here, sir. Usually you're running out in front of me. Okay, getting all tangled. But like, I know he's getting older, y'all. He gets slower and slower on these walks. So, I wonder how much longer we have with Mr. Rollo. He's gonna be 8 in April. Average lifespan for an Irish Wolfhound is 7. So, we just enjoy the time we get. That's why they're called heartbreak hounds. Nobody's dog lives long enough though, do they? All right, we have made it back to the house, so I'll show you what I was talking about. This was the flower box that I tried to dig out the other day, but the deeper I got, the more frozen it was down there. It's hard to tell on here, but man, the sides are so rotten on all of these flower boxes. It is past time for them to go. Over here are the new ones waiting in place. And thus far, this is my big pile of sticks that I have collected. This is what I mean by like the little saplings and stuff that we need to cut down. I'm just collecting those here so that the bottom layer of these, I mean, these come up halfway on my thigh, so they're pretty tall. I'm 5'9", 174 centimeters for all of my European viewers. And there's 8 of these bad boys. So I need a lot more sticks than that to fill these up. Here is my greenhouse. Update on that. The shelves came in and they fit nicely in the back. My tumbler fits nicely in the corner there. So that's ready to go. I have trimmed back some bushes and started piling up all the dead leaves and everything back here behind the greenhouse, again, so that there'll be close, easy access for my flower boxes here once I get them placed over here. But yeah, today's project, let me get Rollo back situated and I'll show you what I'm gonna work on today. All right, here is today's project. Woodshed. Small saplings in front of woodshed that are going to come down, and if I'm really on it, I can get to these over here kind of in the ditch too. We'll just see how much energy I have for today. Here's my tools of the trade. Let's get busy.
2 hours later.
All right, 2 hours later, last pile of sticks over there. I just need to pick up my saw and my drink, but I was able to do the whole thing all the way down to our little access road down there. So, hooray. Now it's time to go in and actually talk about the February budget review. How do I have the energy for that? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. All right, compared to what I had earlier, all the sticks laying that way, I added all of these today. I would say that's a good looking pile of sticks right there. Happy troll noises. It's too bad I don't need to put a dead hedge up anywhere, because these are like the perfect thing for a dead hedge, but they will also be good in the bottom of these planter boxes. So yeah, I just need to wait for those to finish thawing out and then start digging. Okay, I ate a snack. I feel somewhat refreshed. The lighting is weird, but it's just because of where the sun is out here. But because it's nice, I am going to be outside as much as I can. So let's get this February budget review done. So this is my second month of 2026, my first full calendar year of being lean fire. So as per usual, let's start at the top with what income I do have now that I am not working. And y'all can see here, I did get a YouTube paycheck barely this month. You have to earn at least $100 to get a payout, and I got $101.38 from YouTube. I have some cash sitting in my portfolio that earned 56 cents this month. I have some bonds that earned me almost $62. No dividends in February. I did do a couple options contracts, and that brought in $221.74. And my credit card cashback rewards, I cash those out every month, $24.26 there. No other income. So in total, $400 in, which is not nothing, because I mean, when I planned for Lean Fire, I did not plan on earning any income at all. So far, so good. It's nice to have that as a little bit of a buffer because my goal is to not spend more than $1,500 per month, regardless of what my income might be. So it's just nice that I was able to meet that goal this month, but also because I had some income, really my portfolio drawdown is even better. So y'all can see I have very few expenses since I am early retired now. It is basically what I spend on food, household, groceries for us, and the pets. And that was $419.50 last month. Personal miscellaneous spending is pretty much everything else usually. And this month, what did I buy? Oh, I bought some reusable silicone freezer bags. I bought some keto-friendly maple-flavored syrup on Amazon. I bought a fermentation kit because I would, if my garden survives. Watch the beginning of the video if you did not see the sad state of my plants. But if any of my vegetables actually grow this year, I would like to try to ferment some of them, make my own like sauerkraut and things like that. Oops, I froze. Anyhow, so I got a fermentation kit that was about $50. The aquarium supplies, plants, and fish was probably the most of this $1,050 that I spent on personal and miscellaneous in February. And then I bought just a few other things, some gardening supplies. I bought some titanium cutting boards so that I could get rid of my plastic ones. And I bought some index cards to help me with my studying Swedish. So that in total brought my spending for February up to $1,469.71. So far this year, I have spent $2,875.99. So not really spending much, but that's the plan with Lean Fire. The house here is paid for. We have no mortgage. Christopher pays for the utilities. He pays our phone bill, though my American number I am keeping, and I will have to pay in March to Mint Mobile to keep my American number. I also have in March coming up taxes, paying my CPA. So there's going to be some expenses in March, and honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay under that $1,500, but we'll see how it goes. The rest of my budget here is for you channel members. This is taking a look at my portfolio, where everything sat at the end of February. Markets have been a little questionable, and I'm filming this right as market opens on March 6th. It's Friday, and futures were down, so maybe I'll do a little bit of buying today. If we're very red, there's always some sort of crisis going on, isn't there? But yeah, that covers it for the February budget review. If you're a channel member, check the membership page because I will film this portfolio status video next.